Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my next class, and today we are going to study the poem Speak Up. So, Speak Up is written by Faiz Ahmad Faiz. ठीक है? तो first of all we are going to start with the setting of the poem. What? Setting. तो setting की अगर हम बात करें, there are three quatrains in this poem. कितने quatrains? Three quatrains. And what are these quatrains? Quatrains contain Quatrain is a stanza which contains 4 lines, 4 verses in a poem. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो this is the first stanza, and how many how many verses does it contain? It contains 4, and there are 2 other uh, stanzas in the poem which contains equal number of verses in it. तो कितने quatrains है यहाँ पे? थ्री क्वार्टरन्स है इस पोएम में. ठीक है, क्यों? क्योंकि 3 स्टैंजाज है और हर स्टैंजा में कितनी वर्सेस है? 4 वर्सेस है. और जब भी 4 वर्सेस एक स्टैंजा में होते हैं दैट इज कॉल्ड एज क्वार्टरन. तो कितने क्वार्टरन्स है यहाँ पे? 3. ठीक है. आफ्टर दैट इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द टोन ऑफ द पोएम, what happened to it? If we talk about the tone of the poem, fine, the tone is really sad and intense, and this poem is addressed to the people of the country, to the countrymen. पोएट ने ये पोएम किसको एड्रेस की है? अपने कंट्रीमैन को. क्यों? वो हम आगे देखते हैं. बट फॉर नाउ रिमेंबर, टोन ऑफ द पोएम इज सैड एंड रियली इंटेंस. ठीक है. आफ्टर दैट इफ यू टॉक अबाउट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, ठीक है, अगर हम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू की बात करें, सो फर्स्ट पर्सन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हैज बिन यूज्ड. फर्स्ट पर्सन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हैज बिन यूज्ड. आप ये पोएम पोएट के पर्सपेक्टिव से देखोगे. व्हाट ही थिंक्स अबाउट द होल सिचुएशन दैट ही हैज मेंशन्ड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर पोएम. वो क्या सोचते हैं, जो भी ये कंडीशन इसमें बताई गई है इस पोएम में, उसके रिलेटेड उसके व्यूज़ क्या है, पोएट के व्यूज़ क्या हैं, वो आपको यहाँ पे देखने को मिलेंगे. सो दैट इज़ वाई फर्स्ट पर्सन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हैज़ बिन यूज्ड. गॉट इट? So let's move forward. Here is the first stanza. अगर हम themes की बात करें, तो पहली थीम जो इसमें है that is self respect, जो हम आगे डिस्कस करेंगे. Second theme which is prevalent there is importance of truth. What is it? Importance of truth. And the third one, तीसरी कौन सी है? Action versus inaction. Action versus inaction. ठीक है. अगर हम एक्ट करेंगे टुवर्ड्स एनी पर्टिकुलर थिंग जो कि हमारे अगेंस्ट की जा रही है, तो एक्शन हमारा रिएक्शन कैसा होना चाहिए और होना चाहिए कि नहीं होना चाहिए, उसके रेपरकशंस क्या होंगे. और अगर हम एक्ट करेंगे ही नहीं, अगर हम रिएक्ट करेंगे ही नहीं, हम बोलेंगे ही नहीं, उसके रेपरकशंस क्या होंगे. सो हम इन तीनों थीम्स पे आगे वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी देम एक्सप्लिसिटली. फाइन. So if we talk about this poem, Faiz Ahmad Faiz क्या कहना चाहते हैं? What does Faiz Ahmad Faiz want to say to his countrymen? He addresses this poem to his countrymen. ये तो मैंने आपको पहले ही बोला, isn't it? But why? Basically, he wants to give voice to the voiceless. He thinks his countrymen do not have the courage to speak. They are not aware of what has been done to them, because in this poem you will see India. It talks about the time when India was under the slavery ऑफ ब्रिटिश. ये पोएम उस वक्त लिखी गई है जब इंडिया ब्रिटिश के अंडर था, उनकी स्लेवरी के अंडर था. एंड देयर वर लॉट ऑफ एट्रोसिटीज, देयर वर लॉट ऑफ क्रूअलिटीज डन टू Indians. And Indians didn't used to say anything. They didn't used to say anything against whatever cruelty, whatever atrocity was being done to them. So फैज़ अहमद वैज़ could not see it. उनसे बर्दाश्त नहीं हुआ. So he thought of making his countrymen aware of whatever is happening against them, what wrong is being done to them. उन्होंने सोचा कि वो अपने कंट्रीमैन को क्या बताएंगे कि उनके साथ क्या बुरा हो रहा है. उन्हें इस चीज़ की जानकारी होनी चाहिए एंड दे नीड टू स्पीक. दैट इज़ वाई इट इज़ सेड ही वॉन्ट्स टू गिव वॉइस टू द वॉइसलेस बिकॉज ही थिंक्स हिज कंट्रीमैन आर वॉइसलेस. They have the capability to speak, but still they do not speak. So he wants to inject them with courage, with strength. He wants to make them aware of the power that they have. ये उनको बताना चाहते हैं कि उनमें पावर है, उनमें करेज है, उनमें स्ट्रेंथ है कि वो ब्रिटिशर्स की जो ये एट्रिसिटीज़ है, ब्रिटिशर्स की जो ये स्लेवरी उन पे लगाई गई हुई है, ब्रिटिशर्स के जो क्रूरटीज़ उन पे किए, जो वो ब्रिटिशर्स उन पे कर रहे हैं, वो उनके खिलाफ लड़ सकते हैं. दे कैन डेफिनेटली बैटल अगेंस्ट देम, दे कैन डेफिनेटली फाइट अगेंस्ट देम एंड विन ओवर देम. So let's find out what Faiz Ahmad Faiz says in the first stanza. Speak up, for your lips are not sealed, and your words are still your own. This upright body is yours. Speak while your soul is still your own. So, in this particular stanza, let's take the first line, first verse. Speak up, for your lips are not sealed. तो फैज़ अहमद फैज़ अपने कंट्री मैन को कहना चाहते हैं. ही वॉन्ट्स टू टेल हिज कंट्री मैन टू स्पीक. As I told you, he wants to give them that voice. He wants to make them aware of the power of their voice. Of the power of their voice. So he wants them to speak because he tells them, you have mouth of your own, you have lips of your own. That means you have the power to speak. So speak up. You do not have to borrow words. You do not have to borrow words. You do not have to borrow lips from someone else. आपके पास बोलने की ताकत है, आपके पास बोलने की कैपेबिलिटी है, पावर है, तो बोलो. आपको वर्ड्स की ज़रूरत नहीं है, आपको किसी और के बोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है आपके बिहाफ पे. You have your own mouth, you have your own lips, so speak up. Your lips are not sealed. Then the poet says, and your words are still your own. That means you have the power to speak. You have words. You know what to speak. Whatever is there in your hearts and minds, do speak it out. You don't have to borrow words from someone else. आपको नहीं चाहिए कि कोई और आपको समझाए कि क्या बोलना चाहिए, क्या नहीं बोलना चाहिए, या वो आपके बिहाफ पे बोले. So whatever is there in your hearts and minds, do come out with it. Do speak up. This upright body is yours. He wants to make them aware. He wants to make them realize that they are humans. And only humans have the upright body, the straight and courageous and the honest body, which has the capability to fight against anything. A human has the power to speak. Animals do not have that power. Animals are not capable of speaking. Animals are not capable of realizing that what is wrong. They are not able to differentiate between what is wrong and what is right. तो ये अपने countrymen को बताना चाहते हैं कि ये बात समझो कि तुम humans हो, and nobody can treat you the way you have been treated by Britishers. So you have an upright body, you have a courageous soul, you have a courageous body. You have a courageous body. So make use of it and speak. Stand strong against these Britishers. Just stay strong and fight against them. Speak while your soul is still your own. So inside your body there is a soul surviving in it. There's a soul surviving in it. That means you people are not dead. You are not dead. You are alive. You are alive and understand the importance of an alive person. What rights does a person need to have. Fight for your rights, as you are the alive people and not the dead souls. So you have an upright body, you have a courageous body in which there is a soul surviving. There's a soul surviving in your courageous body. So that means you are not dead people. You're not dead people, you are alive. So think and focus on what you have to do and what you need to speak up for and why. So क्या कहते हैं फैज इस पर्टिकुलर स्टैंजा में? Speak up. He wants to give voice to the voiceless. He wants to tell his countrymen to speak up whatever is there in their hearts and minds, as their lips are not sealed. They do not have to borrow lips from someone else. They do not have to borrow words from someone else. They have the power to speak and they must make use of that. They have an upright body, they have a straight and courageous body in which a soul is surviving. That means they're not the dead people, they are alive people who need to fight against all the atrocities and brutalities that are being done on them. They need to fight back, they need to speak, they need to tell Britishers that whatever they are doing to them is wrong. Fine, I hope the first stanza is clear. Let's move on to the next one. Look there in that smithy. This stanza is so interesting. I'm sure you'll love it. It's a red oven, fierce flames. The padlocks are already opening their mouths, and each fetter is skirting out. What does it mean? इस स्टैंजा में पोएट कहते हैं, उन्हें एग्जाम्पल देते हैं स्मिथी की शॉप की, कि स्मिथी क्या करता है, उसके पास रेड अवन होता है जिससे फियर्स फ्लेम्स निकल रहे होते हैं. उस फियर्स फ्लेम्स में वो जो हीट प्रोड्यूस होती है उस रेड अवन से, उन फियर्स फ्लेम्स से, उस हीट की इंटेंसिटी, the intensity of that heat is so strong that the padlocks, which are made of iron, a hard metal, a strong metal, उसकी वजह से those padlocks, those locks and chains, fetters are those chains, they are opening their mouths. That means even the intensity of that heat melts down those padlocks and fetters, which are made of iron, which are very difficult to melt, but still they too melt down when the heat is so intense, so strong. सो जब ये एग्जाम्पल पोएट कोट करते हैं, उसका मतलब क्या है? वॉट डज द पोएट ट्राई टू से? ही मेक्स कंपैरिजंस इन दिस स्टैंजा. He makes comparisons in this stanza. Metaphor and similes have been used in immensely. Sorry, metaphors and symbolism, not similes, symbolism. मेटाफर्स एंड सिंबलिज्म हैव बीन यूज्ड इमेंसली. क्यों? हर एक चीज़ इस स्टैंजा में एक सिंबल है. स्मिथी की शॉप, ये भी एक सिंबल है. रेड अवन, ये भी एक सिंबल है. फियर्स फ्लेम्स, इट टू इज अ सिंबल. Padlocks and fetter, they too are symbols. किस चीज़ के? That we are going to discuss. And why metaphors? Because they have been compared to something else. So let's find out what Smithy has been compared to. क्यों poet अपने कंट्रीमैन को, अपने लोगों को, अपनी कंट्री के लोगों को स्मिथी, ब्लैक स्मिथी की एग्जाम्पल देते हैं? Before talking about that, let me give you the visuals of Smithy's shop. Now see, this is the Smithy's shop. It looks like this. There is this red oven. There are things which are made of iron which needs to be melt. These are the fetters, these chains, these are the locks. ठीक है, सब कुछ आयरन का है, लोहे का बना है, isn't it? उसके बाद this is the red oven. This is the smithy who is fighting there in this particular shop, who is battling, who is struggling and working hard to melt the iron down. And this is the red oven. This is the red oven, and these are the fierce flames which come out of the red oven. And what do these fierce flames do? They produce heat. They produce heat. और उस heat की वजह से क्या होता है? ये जो fetters हैं, ये जो chains हैं, locks हैं, which are made of iron, which is very difficult to melt, which is very hard to melt, these two melt down with the intensity of heat that is produced by the fierce flames. Got it? So let's understand what are the symbols that the poet has used and why. What does he try to convey to his countrymen? So smithy, blacksmithy shop, it has been compared to, it is a symbol which symbolizes national struggle. It symbolizes national struggle. And smithy, who is there? First, I'll write it. Let me just write it over here. Let me write it over here. Blacksmith has been, one second. Smithy's shop has been compared to national struggle. Smithy's shop has been compared to national struggle. Then blacksmith who is there inside the shop is compared to freedom fighters, nationalists, freedom fighters, the nationalists who fight against the atrocities, who fight against any injustice done to them. Uske baad, what is it? What else is there in this particular stanza? Red oven. Red oven has been compared to okay, heat. So red oven, once again. Red oven, why isn't it working? Red oven is compared to heat. रेड ओवन जो है वो एक ऐसा सिंबल है जो सिंबलाइज करता है, व्हाट डज इट सिंबलाइज? हीट, क्योंकि रेड ओवन से ही हीट आती है. अब ये हीट किस चीज से कंपेयर की गई है? व्हाट डज इट सिंबलाइज? दिस हीट इज जनरेटेड इन द हार्ट्स ऑफ द पीपल बाय द डेथ ऑफ द मार्टर्स. It's not martyr, it's martyr. Okay, so see, when someone dies, okay, who is fighting for national struggle and all, when somebody dies amongst that lot, amongst those people, तो क्या होता है? Those who are around him, those who come to know about it, they get anguish. वो उनको गुस्सा आता है, they get really angry. उनको गुस्सा आता है जब भी कोई इंसान मरता है नेशनल स्ट्रगल के लिए फाइट करते करते. यू मे हैव एक्सपीरियंस्ड इट, हाउ पीपल डाई ओवर हियर इन कश्मीर एज वेल. सो उससे क्या होता है, जब भी हम किसी के बारे में सुनते हैं वी गेट एंग्विश, वी रियली फील एंग्विश अबाउट दिस थिंग. तो रेड ओवन सिंबलाइजेज द हीट जनरेटेड इन द हार्ट्स ऑफ द पीपल. वो किस, ये हीट क्या सिंबलाइज करता है? एंगर. दिस हीट इज बेसिकली द एंगर. जो हीट रेड ओवन से निकलती है वो किसको सिंबलाइज करता है? एंगर को. और वो एंगर क्यों आता है लोगों के दिलों में, दिमाग में? वाई इज दिस हीट जनरेटेड इन द हार्ट्स ऑफ द पीपल? बिकॉज ऑफ द डेथ ऑफ मार्टर्स, जब ये लोग मरते हैं. आफ्टर दैट fierce flames which come out of these red oven, उससे क्या होता है? These are fierce flames have been compared to voices. Fierce flames are the symbols which symbolize voices. मतलब, so when people get angry because somebody has died, what do? They start raising their voice. They start raising their voices, they start raising slogans against those atrocities, against those brutalities. तो जब लोग गुस्सा होते हैं, जब भी कोई शहीद होता है या मरता है नेशनल स्ट्रगल के लिए फाइट करते करते, तो लोग क्या करते हैं? गुस्सा आने के बाद वो घरों से बाहर निकलते हैं, वो प्रोटेस्ट करना स्टार्ट करते हैं, वो रैलीज निकालते हैं. आपको पता होगा, यू कैन विजुअलाइज ऑल दोज थिंग्स, हाउ पीपल प्रोटेस्ट. वो स्लोगन्स रेज करना स्टार्ट कर देते हैं, बैनर्स निकालते हैं. सो यू नो ultimately वो क्या करते हैं? they raise their voices and those voices have been compared to fierce flames. Fine. And finally, the last one, padlocks and fetters, they have been compared to slavery, under which Indians were the slavery of Britishers, under the slavery of Britishers at that time. क्योंकि slavery में क्या होता है? People are bound, they are not allowed to speak, they are not allowed to do anything ऑफ देयर ओन अकॉर्ड. उनको इजाज़त नहीं होती है कुछ भी अपनी मर्ज़ी से करने की. दे आर बाउंड नॉट टू गो एनी वेयर. वो कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते हैं. जब भी कोई कंट्री किसी के स्लेवरी के अंडर होती है, उन्हें हर चीज़ के लिए परमिशन लेनी पड़ती है, उन्हें वो आज़ादी नहीं होती है. दे डू नॉट हैव दैट फ्रीडम. तभी वो उस फ्रीडम के लिए लड़ते हैं. उन्हें there are so many people who try to speak but still they are put behind the bars. उन्हें जेल में डाला जाता है, उन्हें लॉक किया जाता है with those chains, with those locks. So that is what you mean by padlocks and fetters. It has been compared to, it symbolizes slavery. और क्या slavery थी वो? It was the slavery of Indians under the Britishers. Fine. होप दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टैंजा इज क्लियर. सो अब पोएट क्यों ये सारी एग्जाम्पल्स देते हैं? पोएट वॉन्ट्स टू टेल पीपल that you too have to fight like the smithy for the national struggle by being a smithy, by being a national struggler, by being the freedom fighter. You too have to generate heat within your heart, within your mind, by the death of those martyrs. Feel empathy, be empathetic towards those martyrs and fight for them, fight for yourself. Raise voices, means fierce flames, raise voices against the atrocities and cruelties, brutalities which are being done to you people. And when you're going to raise your voices, all the padlocks, all those chains and locks will start opening their mouths. That means they will start melting down. That means your padlocks, those padlocks under which you have been locked, वो सारे खुलने लगेंगे. You will be heard by these Britishers. You will be able to win over them. And finally, when they will melt down, you will be able to achieve what you are fighting for, and that is freedom. You will come out to be as victors. You will turn out to be victorious when you're going to fight, when you're going to raise your voices. तभी जाके ये जो लोहा है, जो चीज़ आपको इतनी impossible लग रही है, वो possible होगी. And you will be able to achieve that freedom for which you will be fighting. ठीक है? So I hope the second stanza is clear. After that, the third one. Speak up now, for time's running out, before your body and mind fade away. Tell us, for truth is not yet dead. Speak whatever you have to say. अब यहाँ पे पहले आप बोलोगे कि मैम यहाँ पे 5 lines है. There are not 5 verses in this particular stanza. There are only 4. यहाँ पे speak अलग से इसलिए रखा गया है बुक में, so that more emphasis is laid upon this word speak. So in this particular stanza, poet tries to tell people for you to speak as time is running out, as time is ticking away. टिकिंग अवे, वक्त खत्म हो रहा है, वक्त निकला जा रहा है. सो दिस इज द टाइम फॉर यू पीपल टू स्पीक. वाई? बिकॉज a human body and mind tends to fade away. You people have to die once, isn't it? So once you'll be dead, you won't be able to speak, you won't be able to do anything for yourself, for your countrymen. क्योंकि ह्यूमन बॉडी जो होती है वो एक ना एक दिन ख़त्म हो ही जाती है, वो एक ना एक दिन एंड पे आ ही जाती है. सो व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज़, before your body ends, before your mind fades away, what do you need? Before the time runs out, you must speak. Speak for yourself, speak for the rights which you deserve. Speak for all the things that you want to speak, what is there in your heart and mind. The truth which is kept hidden, which is hidden there. Tell us, for truth is not yet dead. So you still have time. Everyone, what do you mean by for truth is not yet dead? It means that everyone knows about the truth, everyone knows what is right and what is wrong, what is just and what is unjust. You need to speak about it, you need to highlight it more, you need to lay emphasis more on this truth. That means you need to speak for what your rights are, what you deserve to get, and you must take it away, you must take it, you must snatch it. Nobody is going to give it to you, you have to snatch it by speaking for it, by fighting for it. And you have to do all those things before you die, before your body and mind fade away, because you are not here to stay for the end of eternity. You people are not going to be eternals. You're not going to be here in this world forever. You are meant to die. As you are the human, as you are humans, a human body dies once. So before you die, before that times run out, before that time runs out, you must speak. So आपके पास जितना भी वक्त है, ये वक्त निकल जाने से पहले वो सच्चाई सबके सामने लाओ जो सबको पता है, उस पे फोकस करो, अपने हक के लिए, अपने राइट्स के लिए लड़ो, इससे पहले कि आपका वक्त ख़त्म हो जाए. बिकॉज यू आर नॉट हियर टू लिव फॉर एवर. And before you leave this world, do something good for yourself and for your country. Men, speak whatever you have to say. Speak whatever is there in your mind. Speak whatever is there in your heart. Speak what is to be said and what is not to be said. जो भी कुछ बोलना चाहते हो, you must speak that. Take an action. Because when you are going to act against all these atrocities, when you're going to act against all these atrocities, you are going to get fruitful results. And inaction is not going to, अगर हम inaction की बात करें, अगर आप बुत जैसे बने बैठे, आप कुछ नहीं करोगे, आप react नहीं करोगे, inaction is not going to fetch you with anything. You're not going to get anything by not doing anything. So when you're going to come into action, when you're going to act and react against these atrocities, then only you're going to get fruitful results. Got it? So this was the third theme which I had already told you that we are going to discuss towards the end of the poem. That is what action versus inaction means. So if we talk about action versus inaction, Faz tries to tell people about the importance of what needs to be said. कितना ज़रूरी है वो बोलना जो बोलना चाहिए. It is very important for one to speak what needs to be said, as the time span provided to them is too short, isn't it? They do not have all the time in the world. The time span which is given to them is too short. Faz displays his opinion that action should be done, as inaction will not fetch them with a fruitful repercussions. Fine. The first theme which is prevalent there in the poem is self-respect. What is it? Self-respect. So poet persuades, isn't it? He persuades, he motivates his readers. कौन है उसके readers? The countrymen, to speak up clearly without hesitating, without any reluctance. किस चीज़ के against उन्हें बोलना है? Against the tyranny, against the brutality of the Britishers, of the atrocities of the Britishers, the cruelty which is done to them. He wants to evocate the patriotic feelings of the countrymen. He wants to rise those feelings of patriotism within them. He wants them to express. He wants them to express their feelings and express it fearlessly. फैज़ क्या चाहते हैं कि उसके कंट्रीमैन जो है वो पेट्रियोटिक बने. क्या बने? पेट्रियोटिक बने, अपने दिलों में पेट्रियोटिज्म को जगाए, उस फीलिंग को जगाए और fearlessly उसको आगे बोले. To speak about their feelings fearlessly and courageously, and to stand up for themselves, which can be done only by the person with self-respect. One can speak fearlessly about his feelings, about his emotions, about his rights, about everything. Who is this one person? The one who has self-respect, isn't it? The person who doesn't have self-respect, he will never speak about anything wrong which is done to him or her. So Faz tries to make them aware of the importance of self-respect, self-esteem, self-assertion and freedom. तो क्या बताना चाहते हैं फैज़ उन्हें? वो उन्हें इम्पोर्टेंस देना चाहते हैं, समझाना चाहते हैं. किस चीज़ की? सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट की, सेल्फ एस्टीम की, फ्रीडम की, सेल्फ असर्शन की. So that was the first theme. And the next one is which is the last one, is importance of truth. The poet asks the reader to speak up the truth, isn't it? As time is ticking away, one must speak for those who are suffering cruelties and injustice. So, whatever injustice is being done to them, whatever cruelties are being done to them, poet wants his readers, the countrymen, to speak about the truth which is not yet dead, to speak about their rights which they deserve to get, isn't it? As their time is ticking away, time is running out. One must not delay in acting, in raising one's voice, because one's body and mind are bound to fade away, isn't it? आप truth तभी बोल पाओगे जब आप जिंदा होगे. So when once your body and mind will fade away, when you're going to die, after your death you cannot do anything, so you need to speak before the time runs out. One must speak courageously because falsehood truth prevails against truth prevails against falsehood. This is what poet tries to tell them when he wants to make his countrymen realize about the importance of truth. So with that particular theme, we come to the end of this poem. I hope you have understood this poem clearly, but still if there are any confusions, doubts or questions, you can ask me. You can write those questions in the comment section. I'm going to answer each and every question of yours. In my next video, I'm going to talk about the poetic devices of this particular poem. Fine, till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.